Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'll be talking about a condition I believe to be incredibly misunderstood: autism. Within the video today, I'll be discussing many aspects of the condition, such as the symptoms, the impact it has on daily life, getting a diagnosis, and caring for someone with autism. It's important to note that all the sources I used for today's video will be linked in the description box down below, along with some other helpful links and phone numbers. And if you or someone you know is being affected by the condition, please do the appropriate research into autism and speak with your doctor if you feel it is necessary. May I also just mention quickly that although those who are autistic will share certain symptoms, everyone is different and the condition will affect them in different ways. To begin with, autism is a complex developmental disorder which impacts someone's ability to do things like communicate effectively, to interpret things or other people effectively. Autistic people tend to have particular difficulty understanding sarcasm, facial expressions, tone of voice, and also jokes, in terms of what is a joke and what is something serious. The National Autistic website informs us that many of those affected by the condition interpret the world around them very differently when compared to those without. They tend to see the world as an overwhelming and scary place, which often leaves them feeling incredibly anxious and unable to effectively socialise, interact and communicate their feelings to other people. Signs of autism are different depending on how old the person possibly affected is. For example, the NHS website explains that in younger children, signs include getting very upset if they do not like a certain sound, taste or smell, doing repetitive movements like rocking their bodies, flicking their fingers and banging their heads, repeating words or phrases, not speaking as much as other children, not responding to their name, avoiding eye contact. Signs of autism in older children are not understanding what others are feeling or thinking, not being able to properly say how they are feeling, liking a routine, finding it hard to make friends, preferring to be on their own, and taking things literally. For example, the very common phrase "break a leg" could be very easily misinterpreted by somebody who has autism. Other things include getting highly interested in specific activities or subjects and getting upset if they are asked to do something. Whereas in adults, the signs of the condition share many of the same symptoms as older children. But for adults, it also includes being very blunt and to the point, which can often come across as rude to other people. Other symptoms can include not understanding social regulations and rules, like for example not speaking over someone, wanting to do the same things every day, like for example eating the same foods each day or travelling the same way to and from school, noticing small details that would be irrelevant to those without the condition, like certain patterns or sounds, and also having a sensitivity to certain sounds, smells, tastes, colours, temperatures and light. And finally, liking to heavily plan something before heading out and doing it. The NHS website also states that autism in girls and boys can be different. Females tend to be quieter than males and they will often hide their feelings. They may also appear not to be struggling as much in social situations. It is said that because of these things, autism can be more difficult to spot and diagnose in girls. It is not 100% clear what exactly causes autism. However, it is understood that it can affect people in the same family. This means it could possibly be passed on from a parent to their child. Usually, parents begin to notice autistic behaviours in their children from around the age of 2 or 3. It is important to note too that autism is not a disease or an illness. It is a condition which is long-term. Many people believe that an autistic person is simply naughty, but this is not the case. Often their tantrums come from a place of feeling misunderstood by others and also from a place of not being able to fully understand and interpret their own feelings and thoughts appropriately. The National Autistic Society released facts and figures for the condition, and a few which caught my attention are as follows. There are approximately 700,000 people who are on the autistic spectrum here in the United Kingdom, which is more than 1 in 100. When you include their families into that statistic, it means that 2.8 million people are affected by the condition in one way or another, just in the UK alone. A massive 63% of children who are autistic are not in the kind of school that their parents or carers believe would be the best to support them and their needs. And finally, at least 1 in 3 autistic adults are suffering with severe mental health issues due to a lack of support. When it comes to getting a diagnosis for autism, this is something that can take several months, or even in some cases, years. The process can be, without a doubt, extremely long and drawn out. But the best place to start is always by speaking with your GP or therapist about your concerns. If you believe your child could be autistic, then you could also speak to the special educational needs staff members at your child's school if this is something that is available to you. If not, then it may be worth having a discussion with your child's teachers at school. After talks with your doctor or other professional, they will more than likely discuss an autism assessment for the person who may be affected by the condition. This can be daunting, but it is the best way to get a proper diagnosis of autism. The assessment is done by professionals who specialise in autism. This is the perfect time to ask any questions about the condition that you may wish to ask, or discuss any concerns that you may have. At the end of the assessment, you will receive a proper diagnosis for the person in question. For the assessment, it may be worthwhile writing things down, like symptoms, any questions or concerns, and also writing things down about the person who may have autism. Like, for example, it may be worthwhile keeping a small journal about their behaviours, actions, or interactions that day that you were concerned about. Something which may be helpful after getting a confirmed diagnosis is to join a special autism group in your area. Also, the National Autistic Society or a charity of similar nature can be helpful, as they can offer you advice, help and support. Giving yourself time to process the diagnosis is also very important, along with listening to other people's stories and experiences of the condition. Having the confirmed diagnosis can often be a relief for many parents or carers, as they are now able to understand why their child behaves the way that they do. It can also help autistic adults understand the way their own mind works. This also means that all involved can move forward accordingly in terms of support. If you believe someone you know may have autism, it's important that you try to understand the condition itself and support them in their day-to-day activities. Even things as small as simply using your child's name can really make a difference. Other things you can do are things like speaking clearly and slowly, keeping your language simple, keep a routine, use simple gestures to help them understand what you are saying, and allow extra time for your child to digest what you are telling them. It's important not to ask someone who is autistic lots of questions, especially within a short period of time. Also, try not to have a conversation with them in an environment which is already very noisy or busy. If they are feeling overwhelmed, be sure to take them into a place which is calmer. When it comes to the eating difficulties of those who are autistic, it's said that it can be helpful to keep a food diary that includes where, what, and when the person eats. Sleeping difficulties can be helped by sticking to the same bedtime routine, keeping a sleep diary, making sure their sleeping environment isn't noisy or busy, and finally letting them wear things like earplugs if this helps them. In terms of socialising, don't force someone with autism into social situations if they wish to be on their own, and don't put pressure on them, as this will simply aggravate the situation. Get support and help from those around you, whether this be other family members, friends, charities or autism groups, And finally, it could be beneficial to give the autistic individual a diary for themselves, so they can write down how they are feeling, or they can use drawings to showcase how they are feeling too. Now, I know that I've covered a lot in this video today, but I've wanted to create this video for a very long time. I hope this has helped in some way. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it or found it useful, please leave this video a thumbs up. If you are new here, click on that subscribe button, and I very much hope to see you in my next video.